When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes, is the answer. Now, here is the host of The Long Bearded Guy, the Chief Catalyst, Strategist Guide at Jewel International, Gordon D. Melville.
Hey everybody, welcome. You are with the Long Bearded Guy, Gordon D. Melville on Inspired Choices Network. It's Friday. It's Red Friday. It's always Red Friday. R-E-D, Red. Remember everyone deployed. And they're willing to stand on a wall for us. We need to make sure that we remember them. So welcome. Please find us on anywhere that you will be listening or watching. iHeartRadio, Google TV, Apple TV, Spotify, wherever it is that you go. You can catch me live streaming at the moment on Facebook, on YouTube, on our Inspired Choices Network app, and then you can catch us live on and any other episodes of my show and all the other hosts, because there's some really good hosts on this network. On inspiredchoicesnetwork.tv is our TV station, so you can catch us live there. But if you want to interact with me, if you happen to be here, please let me know. Jump into the chat. My producers, Sarah and Christine, will give you, will say hi and give you a link into my live studio audience. If you can do that, if you want to do that, would love to see you here. But either way, if you're watching or listening, please let me know that you're listening on the live or on the replay and where you're listening from, so we can track some of that. Please like it, love it, share it, subscribe. It's a free subscription on Inspired Choices Network app. You can find that anywhere you'd find your stuff. And it helps the algorithms. It also helps to pay for the show. So thank you so much for that. And just so you know, you are talking with somebody or listening to somebody, watching somebody. I am known as the Champion Mindset Mentor, the Long Bearded Guy, and the King of EQ. For a multitude of different reasons, but I'm a champion coach, a mindset mentor, and I work with my avatars are entrepreneurial men and pro athletes, but I'll work with anybody. But that's my heart is for people like myself, guys like myself, and if you've heard my story, you understand why. And so I'm a multi-award-winning international best-selling author multiple times. The last one was a relationship book called Your Relationship Roadmap. It went #1 bestseller internationally in 3 different categories on the day it published. So, but excuse me, I was picked up by a pro basketball team to be their mindset mentor, their mindset and energy coach for the upcoming season. So that's cool. I'm a speaker. There's lots of different things. So that's who you're listening to. I'm also obviously a live radio show host, a podcaster, and a TV personality. So for the Long Bearded Guy, or with the Long Bearded Guy, and that would be me. And I'm not sure where that comes from exactly. I had it trimmed this week, and you wouldn't know by the length of it. But anyway, all right. Today, our episode today, I'll stop riffing off the top of my head. By the way, I've got my mug, my special mug, here with my Boost Peach. What is it? Peach. Ginger and dandelion tea, which I love very much. It's very yummy. But if you don't have your journal with you, if you don't have anything to write on or write with, please, you got 30 seconds to grab that. We're going to talk today about finding your wolf pack to end loneliness. Finding your wolf pack to end loneliness, because it's becoming a huge deal. And I think when we look at things like COVID, it just made it worse. COVID exasperated the issue because we isolated. We were all isolated and isolated from each other, even inside our own home, because eventually you're like, okay, I've spent all this time with my wife or my kids or with the in-laws or with whoever you happen to be placed and stay with, but we can be in a full room of people and still feel alone, still feel lonely. And so it's come up a few times in the last few weeks. And I was like, you know what, let's talk about that and explore that a little bit, because there's some reasons behind that. There's some reasons that we feel that way. So thank you to again, I want to reiterate that. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate your spending some of your finite time with me. And again, I know there's people listening on the road. I know there's people listening in the office and places that they can't maybe interact with me. So I appreciate you being here. And you know what? Please share. If you know you've got guys in your life, or you've got people in your life that need to hear some of this message, or need to hear this message, please share this with them. Invite them to listen. You can find it all over the place. I want engagement, right? My mission is to change the lives of every man I meet. To the millions. I want to be able to have legacy impact, positive legacy impact. I have a keen awareness of that, of the impact and legacy I'm pumping out every day, because legacy isn't something that's end of life. It's something that we do every day, and the way we pour out to people, and whether we know it or not. The people that we see in the line at the bank, or people that we pass in the supermarkets, or people that we're talking to, our family and friends and colleagues and all these different people, we're pouring our legacy into them, because legacy is just what we've poured into other people, who we've been in their life. And it's important. And if we're not paying attention to it, we're dumping, because we're having a crappy day. We're dumping that crappiness into other people. We're that energy and that vibration, because we're not being aware of, hey, you know what? And it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to it's okay not to be okay. Let's say it that way. It's not okay to stay there. And if you're going to blow off the whole day, that's not good either. So being able to say, you know what? I'm going to put that in a box. I'm going to acknowledge it's there. First of all, I'm going to acknowledge it's there. I'm going to try and just let it go, first of all, in terms of emotion. But if I'm having a tough day, that's a choice I make. How am I looking at my day? How can I reframe my day? And so when we get into the space where we're talking today about loneliness, we're talking about, how do I find people that I resonate with? How do I find people that I connect with? And this ties into, as I was working with this and putting this together, it occurred to me, we had talked in another show about being ourself, being genuine and authentic. But if I'm not being genuine and authentic, it's going to be very difficult to find my tribe. It's going to be hard to find my wolf pack. Why? Because I'm not being me. How do I know who I'm resonating with if I'm not being myself? And loneliness will look different for all of us. And if we want to define it, loneliness is just our need for social connection not being met. Our need for social connection isn't being met somehow. That equals loneliness. That's what loneliness is. It's just our need for social connection not being met. And that's going to look different for each of us. That's going to look, we can, and if, I know I've felt this myself. Have you felt this way? Can you identify being in a crowded room and still feeling lonely? Can you identify with that? You ever felt that way? I'm at a packed room of people. I could be in a stadium. I could be at a game or a whatnot, and there's thousands of people around, and I still feel alone. Why? Because there's a social connection that's not there. And whether it's social connection in that moment, or social connection in my life or in my day, we need that. So we're social creatures. We're pack type creatures. We need that interaction with other people. That doesn't mean we want to stay there all the time, right? There's a lot of us and that's when we talk about introvert, extrovert. That's what we're talking about. How do you recharge? Do you recharge in a group, or do you recharge by yourself? If you recharge in a group, you're an extrovert. If you recharge by yourself, you're an introvert. If you need other people to get things going and to boost you up and to get that energy flowing, then you're an extroverted type of human. But you can be an extrovert in a crowd and still feel lonely, especially if we're not being who we are. If we're not being authentic, I'm playing a character, it's going to make it very, very difficult. So just really quick, I want to common factors of loneliness. I want to give you just 4. There's a whole bunch, but I'm just going to give you 4. Lack of meaningful social support. So, sometimes we feel disconnected from each other. Sometimes because of our life, because of what's going on, we sort of get these blinders on, and we're like, oh, you know what? I don't feel connected to my tribe. I don't feel connected to my wife or my kids or anybody else. I don't feel connected for some reason today. I just don't feel connected. A meaningful connection, not just My wife was working from home today. My youngest son, Isaac, he's here in the house somewhere. But are we connected? He made me my tea. My wife helped me this morning. She cut my hair, and you can't see that. She cuts it every 2 weeks for me. Shaved it down. I'm all excited about having a nice clean shave. But that's how one of the ways that we connect. That's one of the ways that we have a meaningful connection. My son makes my tea. He loves to do that. Loves to do that. So lack of a meaningful social support is a common factor of loneliness. So these are things to pay attention to and look out for. Ways that when you feel lonely, hey, which one of these am I not getting? A negative perception of our relationships, right? A negative perception of our relationships, things that we're looking at, we go, hey, is that a good relationship? Is it solid? Is it a positive thing? Is it a negative thing? Is it toxic? Is it helping me and moving me forward, or is it hurting me and holding me back? A negative perception of our relationship. Sometimes we have some of that happening, and it can make us lonely. Poor mental or physical health. I can tell you, being not well for 8 years, more than 8 years now. There are days that I feel lonely. I feel disconnected because I don't have that meaningful social support. And when I get into that state, one of the things, oddly enough, that I talk about is that when I don't feel connected and I don't feel good in the morning, sometimes what I'll do is reach out to people. I'll drop right to the bottom of my messenger messages, or not right now because I'm in Meta jail. So you're trying to send me messages. I can see them in Messenger, but I can't respond to anything in Messenger, which is really frustrating. It's forcing me to try and use other social media platforms, which I'm connected on and some I'm not connected on. Some I'm connected to them all, but I'm not connected to my tribe in those platforms. So it's showing me, hey, you know what? You need to reach out and figure out some of these other platforms for myself. So I'm learning some stuff with that too. But I reach out and say to people right to the bottom of the messages or text messages. I've got hundreds of them open, and I'll go right to the bottom. Someone I haven't talked to in forever, and I just say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about you, because I've just looked at their name. I'm thinking about you. I don't know where you are today, but I love you. Big hugs. And then I copy paste. Why? Because it's making me feel better. What's it doing? It's giving me a social connection, a meaningful social connection to people that I care about. And I'm trying to instigate that. And what typically happens is just sending that energy out that way, that positive energy out, makes me feel better. And a lot of times what happens is they come back, right? They'll at least a half of them will come back and say, hey, I haven't talked to you in forever. How's it going? What's going on? Which that connects me to my social network. So if my mental health or my physical health isn't good, then maybe that's setting it off and setting the stage for me to be lonely and not connecting with people. The fourth one is a lack of work-life balance. And I think that's when I read that, I was like, you know what? I think that's a little bit of a misnomer. Work-life balance. I think we spend most of our life at work. Most of us do. Whether you work for yourself, you work for somebody. Matter of fact, if you work for yourself, there is no balance. It's absolutely way more time at work than time at home. But we do a thing where we disserve both sides, because when we're at home, we feel guilty we're not at work, and when we're at work, we feel guilty we're not at home. Anybody feel that same way? I think we all felt that way. So, but being in the moment, right? Giving yourself the gift of being right here, right now. When you're at home, be at home. It's called the present for a reason. It's a gift. But when you're at home, be at home. When you're at work, be at work. If you're on with me, be here. Don't be distracted by multitasking. It's been proved over and over and over and over. We can't do it, because we can try, but a lot of times we just suck at all the different bits, and we're nowhere near as effective on the different sides, because we're way more. If you can really focus, then you connect better. When you really focus, you get more done. It's more efficient. It's quicker. Anyway, get off my soapbox. I have to take a quick break, but I hope this is helpful. I want to do a quick shout out to Jose Escobar as the founder and CEO of the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. Check out the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf to learn more about the morning and evening routine mastery program that is changing people's lives. The program will help you install systems on the bookends of your day to maximize your morning and evening routine. Set up your free strategy session today with Jose Escobar. You can reach him at theentrepreneur'sbookshelf.com. And if you're not doing some kind of morning and evening routine, you're not getting the most out of your day. So reach out to Jose. It's an incredible program. It will make a difference in your life. Absolutely. As we go to break here, don't forget to pause and breathe. That'll help ground yourself. It'll help focus you, and it'll help you be present. So don't forget to pause and breathe. I'll see you right back in a minute. Don't go anywhere. You're with the long bearded guy. That's me. Gordon D. Melville on Inspired Choices Network. Brain fart there. I'll be right back.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the long-bearded guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to the longbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Everybody, welcome back. You're with the long-bearded guy. That's me, Gordon D. Melville on Inspired Choices Network. And today we're talking about finding your wolf pack to end your loneliness. I want to make sure I talk. One of my buddies, one of my good friends is Raul Marin. And his whole deal is Wolfpack. His whole deal is the wise wolf. He writes poetry, incredible poetry. Rise with Gratitude is one of his books. Great guy. There's his picture, Raul. But he talks about Wolfpack. He talks both she wolf and male wolf. He talks about having the right pack to run with that will run way faster, will run way better, more efficiently, with better mindset. Right? They say if you want to go fast, go by yourself, but if you want to go far, go with others. There's so many bits and pieces of this that again, nature, you hear me talk about nature all the time in terms of some things we can learn. And being in Canada at the moment, being from here, a Canada goose, and they can be really nasty in lots of ways. They poop all over, but they're our national bird. And so, but there's some really amazing things about geese. When they fly, if you see them, they fly in a V. And they do a thing because they're flying together. They fly, the lead bird is there only for a while, and it'll lead because it's cutting the wind for the whole V. So it flies up front. That's the hardest place to be, is at the front. And so it flies that way for a while, and then it drops back to the back of the line, and somebody else takes that top spot. And that bird flies for a while in that front spot, in that hard position, and then it drops back. and then another one takes and if somebody gets tired or gets hurt or something happens and it has to stop, out of the V, the whole V doesn't stop. But that one bird drops, so it lands. One of the other birds in the V will step out of, will go down with it, so it's not by itself. So it's never alone. You'll never see one Canada goose by itself. There's always more than one. There's always at least two, because they'll wait, and then when the other bird is okay and can go again, then they fly together and they catch up with the rest of the V. But again, the point is they're not by themselves. They're not alone, right? And you can be surrounded and still feel alone. And when you're by yourself, you can still feel connected to your social, if that makes sense. If we're aware of what's going on around us, and again, we come back to our EQ, right? If we're aware of what's going on. And so I want to just real quick in this little segment talking about, do you have empathetic curiosity? Empathetic curiosity, do you have that? What is that? It's an ability to ask the questions that feels somebody's reality instead of just trying to fix it, listening to try and fix it. As guys, that's hard for us because we hear a problem, we want to fix it. My wife says, hey, I'm thirsty. I'm like, hey, what do you want? Tea, water, coffee? Or she doesn't drink coffee. Diet Coke. What are you looking for? And she's like, no. I don't need you to fix it. I just need you to empathize with my dry mouthedness. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? We're like, what are you talking about? You're thirsty. I go get you some water, get you some tea. I want to fix it. And sometimes they're not looking for us to fix it. And some of our friends are the same. They're not looking for us to fix it. So if we can have empathetic curiosity, do I ask questions and do I interact with people to get to know them at a deeper level? I want to find out what they do and how they do it, but it's way more important for me to find out who they're being. Do you sit with all of your relationships on the surface? Or do you ask them deeper questions? You've heard me say that. I've asked new people when I meet new people, I'm like, who you be? And I say it just like that. And we both kind of laugh and go, Gord, your grammar's baffed, buddy. Like, who you be? And I ask it that way on purpose because I'm trying to do a little bit of a rope-a-dope. I'm trying to distract them a little bit with the phrasing of the question so that they really have to think about. It's not just, hey, how's it going? How's the weather? How's your favorite sports team? You know, what we can find that stuff out. And I'm not saying that's not important. What I'm saying is we spend all our time on the surface. That's why we struggle with our social connection, meaningful social connection. We struggle with it sometimes because we don't go beyond the surface. We don't know anything about people beyond what they do. Oh, that's George from work. Okay, who's George? Married, not married, children? Who are they being? I don't know. And when I say it that way, who you be, once they realize I'm asking them who they're being today, lots of them can't answer the question because they don't know who they're being. Why? If I don't know who I'm being, how hard is it for me to have empathetic curiosity about somebody else? I can't even do it for myself. Another good reason to increase our emotional quotient, to have empathetic curiosity, to have an interest beyond the small talk in the people that are around us, and then the new people that we meet. How well do you know the people around? And sometimes we want to know, sometimes we don't want to know, right? Sometimes we meet people who are like, okay, well, this because of the relationship, we have friends, we have lots of acquaintances, probably very few friends, and real true friends that we can be 100% authentically ourselves with, almost none. We may have a couple, maybe if you're really blessed, you might have a couple. Hopefully one of those people is your spouse or your significant other that you can be 100% authentic with. But we have almost nobody we can be that way with, because that's a really special relationship. It's really, really special to have that. But then we have friends, and then we have colleagues maybe at work, and we have acquaintances. We have lots of acquaintances, right? But trying to make a significant impact, a legacy impact on everybody we meet. Are we going to have that kind of an impact on everybody? The short answer is yes. The easy short answer is yes. The more complicated answer is yes and no, because we're not going to find out about some of those people deeper than a very little bit. Sometimes we don't have the opportunity to do that. But do we try and make the opportunity to have that happen? Do we have a mindset that says, I don't want to get to know these people, so I'm just going to ask surface stuff? And we're going to focus on work, or we're going to focus on the sports. We're at a sporting event. We're going to focus on the teams and the game that's at hand, so that we don't have to talk about anything that's deeper than that. Sometimes we use that as a distraction, right? I'm going to talk about what's going on in the situation that's happening, so that I don't have to talk about anything deeper. We need to have some empathetic curiosity for each other, but we need to be able to do that for ourselves. Do it for ourselves first. Do you have empathetic curiosity for yourself? Do you know who you're being? Do you know who you're being? You are. Do you know who you are being? Deep questions. Deep questions. It improves the quality of our life. We're going to talk in the next segment about some ways that again, some strategies we can use, a few things that we can use that can help us to figure out, hey, how do I plug in? How do I find my wolf pack? How do I find my tribe? How do I find the people that will understand me, because we're all in that same space? It doesn't mean we're all exactly the same, right? People say, oh, like-minded. Well, like-minded is good. I prefer growth-minded. But if like-minded people is what works for you, then find like-minded people. What are your interests? What are the things you like to do? We're going to talk about that in the next segment. Some ideas around that. But having it's the power of empathetic curiosity for others will make you a more valued friend, colleague, acquaintance. Why? Because people will they often say, people don't remember always what you say, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. That's EQ. And a lot of times that happens with new people because you used the power of empathetic curiosity. You're asking questions that made them feel like they mattered in the moment, that nothing else in the room mattered except you. We like hanging around with people like that. Yes? No? Throw it in the chat. If you like hanging around with people that make you feel special. I know I like hanging around with people like that. That's why I like hanging around with my producers. Show up early, talk to them for a few minutes. I enjoy spending time with them. We need to take another quick break. I love them so much. Big hugs to both of them. I want to do another quick shout out for Jose Escobar. Check out the Connected Leaders Academy. It's a membership that will take your business to the next level. If you're an entrepreneur in any way, this is a membership you want. This is the perfect tribe to learn, grow, and connect like never before. The Connected Leaders Academy tribe. Ding, 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 ding. The Connected Leaders Academy tribe, the Wolfpack, brings together some of the highest level entrepreneurs from all over the world. Set up a virtual coffee with Jose Escobar today, and you can reach him at theentrepreneursbookshelf.com. I believe there is a commercial in this next break for the CLA, for the Connected Leaders Academy. As we go to this break, think about, are you having empathetic curiosity with people in your life today? Are you paying attention to that today? And then don't forget to pause and breathe to help ground yourself. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have some tea. I'm going to pause and breathe to help center me and ground me and help me focus so I'm not so scattered. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
The Connected Leaders Academy is the #1 fastest growing networking community for entrepreneurs. CLA assembles high-level leaders, titans of industry, and business owners under one roof. If you're an entrepreneur looking to grow personally, professionally, scale your influence, develop skills, and expand your network exponentially, the CLA is where you need to be. Want on to more podcasts and shows, speak on more stages, sell more books, products, and services, get more leads, referrals, acquire new clients, develop lifelong friendships, and more. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. Contact Jose Escobar on Facebook or check out www.claglobalsummit.com for more information.
This is the long-bearded guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, welcome back. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville. That's me on Inspired Choices Network. And today we're talking about finding our Wolfpack to end our loneliness, finding our social connections, our meaningful social connections, so that we don't feel lonely. We've been, and COVID made it worse. We're isolate. We've learned now, because we spent a couple of years in isolation, we've learned, hey, you know what? Sometimes people like that. Sometimes I don't like that. Sometimes I want to be by myself with a bag of chips and some Netflix. Sometimes I want to have people around. Sometimes I want to be by myself with a book or my journal. And sometimes I want people around. And I being able to have a meaningful connection. I'm connected meaningfully with my wife and my son. They're in the house today, but I don't need to be sitting in the same room with them to feel a meaningful social connection to them. And vice versa. I can be sitting in a room full of people. I can be sitting with our whole family, sitting in the living room at the dinner table, and not feel connected. So being able to do that. So I want to give you a couple of ideas in this last little bit about how can we start those wheels turning. We'll give you some strategies and some ideas to get the creativity flowing. How do you plug in? How do you find your wolf pack? How do you find your tribe, your community? What are there ways and things we can do that can help us outside of obviously raising our EQ, raising and plugging into our learning how to have empathetic curiosity? Are there other things we can do? So I'm going to give you a few here just real quick. Again, you want to write them down. You're not going to remember them. But do the ones that work for you. Do the ones that resonate with you, right? Because what works for me may not work for you. That's why I give you multiple ones so that you can choose and pick and choose. But don't just sort of look at it and go, oh, I don't think I want to do that. We've all had the experience where we go, oh, that wasn't something I thought I would like. And then you go and do it, or you taste it, or you whatever it is, right? And you go, wow, you know what? I enjoyed that. That was awesome. I didn't know what to expect, but that was great. I really had a good time, or I really enjoyed that food. I didn't think I was going to like that, but you know what? It is really yummy. But that doesn't happen unless we put ourselves out there and try. Right? Like, you think about some of the things that we eat for instance, that who is the first person that watched an egg pop out the southbound end of a northbound chicken and went, oh, I got to eat that. I'm going to put that in my mouth. Who was the first person to think that? Now we don't think about it at all. But at the time, but that would never have happened. That food source wouldn't be there. Same thing with I don't know, pick something that we go, oh, that's great. The snails, escargot, they're yummy with garlic butter and some cheese. They're amazing. But who was the first person that went, wow? And you know what? It was probably by accident, or it was probably a necessity. I can't find anything else. I found this. I'll eat that. Right. And we find, oh, hey, that wasn't so bad. I really enjoyed that. So here's a couple things. Start a new friendship on purpose. On purpose, say hi to somebody that you're meeting. Start a new friendship. Ask questions that are deeper than, hey, how you doing? How's the weather? Wow, lots of rain today, lots of clouds. That's a great way to start. But then take it deeper. Have some empathetic curiosity and ask some deeper questions. Ask first. Sorry. Ask first, talk second. Listen to hear and understand. Don't listen for something that you can respond to. A lot of times we're all listening so that we can respond. We're listening for things that we can respond to. And then we're thinking about what we want to say instead of listening to what they're saying. Ask first, ask questions, talk second. My mom used to say, Gord, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in proportion. Stay focused. Be present in the moment. Stay focused. Don't let other things distract us. We got so many things going on. We were talking on a podcast this week, on a group this week about our cell phones. We'll set them up where when we're on Zoom, especially, we have our phones sitting close. We're so connected to it. It buzzes or rings and I got to check my phone. I got to check my phone. Do you know how many times they say people check their phone in a day? It's in the thousands. It's in the thousands of times we'll check a phone in a day. And people that are really active, it's in like the 5,000-7,000 range a day. And we're so hooked into it. It's electronic leash, right? It's holding on to us. It's holding that attention. Focus. If you want a deeper connection with people, we have to be able to focus. If you're at dinner with somebody, I'm going as soon as I leave here to meet with somebody face to face. And my phone will stay in my pocket. We used to do a thing with the car business where all of us would go out, and because we wanted to hold everybody's attention, we would say, hey, everybody puts your phone in the middle of the table. And the first person to touch their phone pays the bill for everybody. Nobody touched their phone. Or we would do, if it's in your pocket, leave it in your pocket. First person to touch their phone pays for dinner for everybody. And it stopped that from happening. Because what you're doing by checking your phone in the moment is being disrespectful to the people that are around you. And we don't mean it to be, I don't think. And I don't want to give an excuse. But what we're saying is whatever's on my phone is more important than the people that are in front of me. Nobody's more important than the humans that are in front of you. And if it's really that important, they'll get a hold of you. What did we do before we had cell phones? What did we do before we had that kind of an attachment to stuff? We still functioned, oddly enough. The next one is go bigger with small talk. So again, take your small talk into empathetic curiosity. Grow your small talk. So it's not just stuff about superficial stuff. Grow it. Make it empathetic curiosity. Start to ask some other questions. Find out what makes other people happy. You ever ask somebody, hey, what makes you happy? What puts a smile on your face? You ever been asked that? Have you ever asked that to somebody else? Interesting question. Why? Because it pushes you deeper. What makes you happy? Wow. You know what? I haven't been asked that before. These are the things that make me happy. It'll connect you emotionally and it'll make them feel special. Walk and talk. Go for a walk. Talk with somebody. My wife and I, we just started to do a thing a few weeks ago where we do it almost daily, very close to daily. If it's pouring rain, we won't. But if it's not raining, we started to just walk around the neighborhood and say hi to it's a new subdivision. We're just new here since May. So we're saying hi to people in the neighborhood, but that's good for us. That walk gets the endorphins going. And we're talking about a lot of great things while we're out, right? We're finding out about each other's day. We're finding out what they're doing and how they're feeling and what's going on in their life. Things that are making them happy, things that are frustrating each other. Walk and talk. It lets the endorphins out and brings endorphins because of the walk. that movement, right? If we can change our physiology, we can change our mindset. We can change our emotional pattern, because there's some really helpful things in working out and in aggressively working out, but going for a walk, just something as simple as that can be really helpful. Join a club. Find somewhere that is, I know people that go and then they swim. And that's not my thing. I like to swim, but I want to splash around and have fun. But some people are like, no, I want to go and hang out with people. And I love to be in the pool. I love to be in the water. I love to be in a lake. Or I know people that will join Raul has a membership program for books to read, a book club. And some of them are really good poets and authors. But hang out, find something that interests you. I've got one coming. So if you're a guy that's exclusively male, but I have a group coming, a membership group coming. So watch for that. But join a club. Find something that you resonate with. A book club, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What interests you? Find some other people that do that, have that same interest, and go and hang out there. And whether you do it as a couple, coming out of a couple's environment, sometimes we do a thing where I gotta spend all my time with my significant. No. You need to have your own stuff too. Do stuff together for sure. You have to do stuff together, but we also need your time away. So go and find something that connects to you and that lights you up and makes you want to go and lifts your vibration, and do that. So join a club and then go out with your tribe. Go and have fun. Enjoy the space, but get to know people in those groups. Get to know people, and again, have some empathetic curiosity and ask deeper questions. If you want to know some ideas, like what makes you happy, that's a great question. You don't have to ask who you're being the way I do, but hey, who are you being today? It's a question I've started to ask people a lot in the last, I don't know, probably a year. I ask them whether it's digital or in person. What are you creating today that's bringing you closer to your definite major purpose? And people are like, say what? Come again? What? Say what? Say what? What are you creating today that's bringing you closer to your definite major purpose? Lots of people look at me and go, Gord, I have no idea what's my definite major purpose. It opens up a much deeper conversation. And then using some empathetic curiosity type questions, the power of that type of a question, we start to go deeper. And then our relationships go deeper. And they're not going to be deep with everybody. I get it. But they don't have to be deep to feel special for us to be able to help somebody else feel special. Find some questions you can ask that are deeper. The odd thing is, people that have social connection, a deeper social connection, they live longer. Interesting. You want to live longer? Have some power, use some powerful empathetic curiosity. Improve your social connections, deepen your social connections. It won't just cure your loneliness. It'll connect you to a wolf pack that'll help you live longer. We need to take another quick break. If any of this resonates with you, if you're hearing this stuff and go, you know what, Gord, I love this message. I love this message. I have spots open to be able to do sponsorships. If you can help me that way, I would love to have that kind of help. Need that kind of help to keep things moving forward. So if that resonates with you, reach out to me, thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. If you're hearing something where you go, Gord, I need to improve my EQ. I need to improve my empathetic curiosity. Questions I can ask. I need to go deeper on some of these topics. Is there other ways to plug into you? And there are. You can go back and listen to my other episodes for sure, but you can hire me in one-on-one. You can hire to be your a personal mentor, champion mindset mentor, and work on that. You can plug into any of my group programs, Box Inside Out and whatnot. You can plug into that. There's membership programs coming that you can plug into that and get access to some of this stuff. You want me to come and talk to your youth group or your men's group or your church or your community, kinsmen or lions or whatever, you want me to come and share some of this information with them, reach out. The long bearded guy at gmail.com is the easiest way to get a hold of me. And just go, hey, I would listen to your show. I love listening to your show. I'm listening from XYZ from this place. And I want to plug in. I want more information for myself, because we all talk about, oh, I'm good, I don't have to worry about it right now. Improving our EQ, our emotional quotient, is like buying insurance. You have to do it when you don't need it, because when you do need it, you don't qualify on insurance anymore. We have to put the tools in our tool belt, in our toolbox, when we don't need it. Because when we do need it, or people around us need it, I have 3 teenage sons. I'm trying to teach it to them. I have friends. I'm trying to give some of those to them. And what works for me may not work for them. So I need more than a bunch. Dozens and dozens and dozens of ways to deal with, ideas and tools and strategies to be able to get through. If you want to improve that stuff, your life will get better. You'll live longer, but your life will get way more efficient, way more impactful, way more fulfilling if we have and increase our EQ. If any of that resonates with you, send me an email, thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com, and say, Gord, I need to plug into some more of this. Please give me some more information. And I'll reach back out to you and we'll have a conversation. We'll have some time together. I need to take another quick break. Don't forget to pause and breathe. Be present and focused as we go to this break. And I'll be right back. We want to talk just in the last little bit. We're going to wrap and we're going to do a call to action, which could be really fun. It was a meaningful one for me. So I'm hoping that it's meaningful for you. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. You're with the long bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. See you in a minute.
How much of our daily success relies on our mindset? Anything we are unaware of can still impact our lives. When dealing with our daily emotions that we all face, there can be positive outcomes we control. Why is the word stigma such a BS misnomer? Is living abundantly really possible for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves today? Join the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville. The Chief Catalyst Strategist Guide at Jewel International invites you to an enlightening, sometimes shocking discussion. He will be challenging you to explore your own answers to these questions and so many more. This will lead you towards living an abundant, successful life no matter how you define it. Gordon D. Melville is live Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the long-bearded guy with Gordon D. Melville. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. Now back to the program.
Hey everybody, welcome back. You're with the long-bearded guy, Gordon D. Melville, on Inspired Choices Network. We're talking today about finding your Wolfpack to end loneliness. And we've talked about what that means. It's just our need for social connection isn't being met. We're not connecting with people as deep as we need to. That's what loneliness is. That's why you can be in a crowded room and still feel lonely. We talked about the power of empathetic curiosity, of asking questions that are deeper than just, how's the weather and how's it going? Which a lot of times we don't want to know anyway. How's it going? We're not asking because we really want to know. We're asking because it's the polite thing to do. How are you doing? So use some of the powerful empathetic curiosity type questions that can make that deeper. And then we looked at a few strategies and ideas to start the wheels turning and get your juices flowing in terms of things that you can do that can help plug you in to and find your own Wolfpack, your own tribe and community that will resonate with you. And if you need help with that, reach out. There's lots of whether it's a membership group, it's a mastermind, it's a network group, it's people that just like to get together for coffee clutch, whether it's live in person or it's online. There's some global places that can help. There's some global communities that can help that are absolutely amazing. The Connected Leaders Academy is an incredible group. I think there's 320, just over 320 people in that group now. It's in 17 or 18 countries around the world. Most of the states, 40 some odd states it's in. But that gives us access to all this other information. It gives us access to deeper connection. We can expand our connection, but we can go deeper because we're plugging into those people. We're plugging into a different group of people than we would ever have able to, right? We talk about social media that globally, it brings us together. I can talk to South Africa or Australia or Europe or Asia or wherever, anywhere in the US. I can talk to all these people that I would never have connected to if there wasn't internet and social media. But I think sometimes it pushes us apart locally. Ever seen a family sitting in a restaurant, everybody's on their phone. They're not talking, they're not interacting with each other. The kids are playing games on their phone, the parents are checking their email or doing whatever, but they're all on their phone. It's pushing us apart socially. I don't know my neighbors that, in the last place, now they changed because they were students all the time. But the point is, we don't know our neighbors, but we know people halfway around the globe because of social media. So we want to focus on asking deeper questions and using the power of empathetic curiosity. So that kind of wraps what we talked about today. I hope that's helpful. I hope it's informative and inspiring, and it's entertaining still somehow too. I'm hoping all those things sort of still come across. But the call to action this week is, to find and source a new group and join them. Find a group, find something that aligns, I got hiccups, aligns with your interest and your values, something that means something to you. Source them. There's lots of them around. Put it into Google, put it into wherever. There's lots of them. There's lots of them around. But don't just have the intention. Don't just have the good intention. Yeah, that's a great idea. I want to do that. Go do it. Hit the join button, hit the yes, buy now, hit the whatever it is to join, hit the button and go. Get in your car and drive to wherever the meetings are. Actually execute on the idea. The other thing I want you to do is to reach out to 5 of your friends you haven't spoken to in a while and schedule and meet for coffee or a meal or whatever. Actually get together with them, whether that's on live. If you can do it in person, great, do that. If you need to do it by Zoom, then do that. But reach out to 5 people this week you haven't talked to in a while. 5 people, just 5, and set up meetings to talk to them. It can be Zoom, it can be in person, and then send it to me. Hey, Gord, this is what I did this week. This is the group I joined or that I looked into. I'm going to join. I'm going to a meeting. I'm getting on their Zoom call and whatever it is. And I reached out to 5 people. I've got 2 I'm having we're having dinner with, and the other 3 I'm doing Zoom with, or I'm getting together for coffee. Let me know. thelongbeardedguy@gmail.com. That's accountability for yourself. Some of us need to have that. Most of us need to have that accountability. Now, next week, Friday, August 25th at noon, same place, same amazing Inspired Choices Network. Whether you're listening to us on the radio or listening to us on TV or on Facebook or YouTube or wherever, comment. And we're going to talk next week. Want to disagree without being disagreeable? Do you want to disagree without being disagreeable? Join us next week. Be courageous, unapologetically you. Make it another great week. I love you. Massive hugs. Live out you abundantly and with intention, and we'll see you next week. I love you.
Thank you for tuning into the Long Bearded Guy Show. You are appreciated and loved. Gordon D. Melville returns Fridays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on the InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, make it another great week, leading with love, powerfully designing, crafting, and living out your positively impactful legacy life you were created for. Big hugs!